Live from the internet and recorded on September 5th, 2018. This is episode 23 of the the Crystal Chronicles, your Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia podcast. My name is Pierre, and I'm joined by usual by Papa Smurf, aka Mark. How we doing tonight, Mark?
Hi, Pierre. Hi, Dissidians. Hi, Twitchers. I am doing great.
Okay.
On non-Smurf related talk, it just made me think as you were playing the introduction. I happened upon, and this is not having anything to do with the Smurfs. I happened upon the studio recording, so a video of the studio recording of Massive Explosion.
Okay.
So of the song that we just listened to,
Yep.
which we had talked about in great detail in previous episodes, which you can check out. But yeah, so I happened upon the studio recording of that. Like they took videos of it. And it's pretty intense. So you can tell the emotion coming from the. It's like she has no idea. Like I don't know what these words mean. Like I'm just gonna try to sing it, and we're just gonna get through this. But she's into it, so that's good.
Did you find that like on YouTube or something?
I was it was on YouTube, but I have no idea why it came up. It just, was in one of those, I was watching, this video or that video and it popped up.
We got to add a link to that in the show notes. Do you think you can find that?
Yeah, did I save a link for that? I wonder. Maybe. Well, I'll look for that if you, it's probably in my history, in my YouTube history, so I haven't watched that.
Throughout all the weird stuff.
I haven't watched that many YouTube videos since I watched that, so it's probably pretty close to top.
So, just quick explanations, because you guys might be wondering what the hell happened at the beginning of the show. I did not bomb the show. It was planned for a whole 5 seconds before I said it. We were having a talk pre-show about someone on Twitch who's listening to us right now called Decaf Smurf. And it took me in a tailspin of my entire childhood, and I started looking at Smurfs names and talking with Mark about how he knows all the names of all the Transformers, everybody who has ever looked at an X-Wing, everybody who has ever played in the Cantina in Star Wars, but he didn't know any Smurf names. And being French-Canadian, living in Quebec, I know all of their freaking names, except I know them in French. So I started looking at names, and that's how the whole Smurf thing started. So I've said it pre-show, I'll say it again, on the show. Decaf Smurf on Twitch. If I've offended you by our talks, I very clearly apologize. It was not our intention. Smurfs are great. We love them. But do you know what we love more on this show? It would be Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Well, we like money. We love money, but this is not the point of the show. So let's stick to the second best thing we like.
Money, Dissidia, Smurfs.
Yeah, pretty much that order. I'll let you go through the first line in the outline. You said something about Square Enix, and there's a random number.
Oh,
I presume.
yes.
I need a little help with that one.
Yeah, so Square, in their infiniteness, decided to bring at PAX West, so Penny Arcade Expo, is that what it's called?
Yeah.
It's PAX West. They brought a gacha machine. So, we have gacha draws. If you want to draw for relics, that's gacha, right?
Yep.
So they brought a actual, and they called it this. I'm not telling you it's called the gacha machine. They said it in their tweet. We brought a gacha machine to PAX West, and it is a literal slot machine. And it's like a gimmick. It's not. I don't think it takes money. So you could go pull on the gacha machine, and it popped out one of the Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia pins that they have. So they have 4 or 5 different pins, and so you pulled the gacha to see which pin you got, right? But I thought it was hilarious that there's no. Oh no, this is just part of the game. No, they're full on. No, this is a slot machine. Here you go. Here's your slot machine. Give us money. Here's your slot machine. Here's your relics. Give me your relics. Yeah. So no bones about it. Just like full on. Yep, it's a slot machine. Come get it. I just thought that was hilarious. So yeah, we linked to the tweet, and I did find that YouTube video, so I sent you that in
Yep,
Skype,
you
so you
did.
can put that in the show notes.
Oh, but wait, you're talking about the second thing, but the first line says Square Enix 6040. Is that like your phone number you wrote in there? Or did I miss something?
I have Square Enix at PAX West.
I have cosplayer at PAX West.
Okay. So that's a different line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
first line. Anyway, we'll sort that out afterward. It must not have been super great. Whoever says convention and whoever says cosplaying and whoever says Final Fantasy while we're at it usually mean there's going to be some kick-ass cosplayer at PAX West. There's probably going to be a, he's on Twitter at Kuja ONII, so that's KUGAONYY, or sorry, KUGAONII. He's probably going to be on as Kuja, as his NO would indicate. There's also going to be at Lady X0, that's LAD. Jeez, what's wrong with me tonight? LADYXZERO, who's going to be on with her great lightning cosplay. This is only two of the great cosplayers going to be there, featuring your favorite Dissidia or just Final Fantasy characters. Please, if you see any great Final Fantasy related characters, I don't really care if they're Dissidia related, send us your best pictures at kupo@tccpodcast.com or share them on Twitter at FFTCC Podcast. We will retweet them. You guys are always the best. Unfortunately, this thing is like across a country. Well, it's in a different country and across the map from where I'm at, and probably pretty far from where Mark is as well, so we just cannot attend.
It's not close.
But please, if you, because I remember at PAX East, our friend Fastcard had sent us pictures, from the Square Gathering, from different cosplayers. So this time around, if you guys get any great pictures, we would love to see them. Again, the email is kupo@tccpodcast.com or on Twitter at FFTCCpodcast. Don't be afraid to send them. We're really looking forward to this. We can't be there. We know you'll be there. Well, maybe not you, but the other guy who's listening to this. So send them to us. We're really looking forward to that. Speaking of costumes, see what I'm doing here? That's where I was going at.
That's a nice transition.
Yeah, I know. So, Square Enix pulled a quick one on us, and they decided to introduce the first costume in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia. Now, if you're a Final Fantasy Record Keeper player, you might know these kind of thing as a dress record, which came for free in an event. You would just do the event, you'd get the costumes, you'd be all happy and stuff. Except this time around, they're not giving them for free. Like, not at all. Not even the first one to get you hooked. There's no free cocaine for you this time around. You gotta pay for your first dose.
Yep, no free
And I
hits.
would like to say it is pretty expensive. How was it again in US dollars?
So in the United States, it is $36.99, which normally that is the 6,000 gem.
Okay,
chest,
so that's the
mithril
price
chest.
of the 6,000 gem. Okay.
Yep. And for example, now there's the sale, and that is the 9,000. So the limited time chest 3 currently is $36.99, and that was the cost of the exclusive wardrobe chest with Yuna's outfit, $36.99 US dollars.
So let's see. If you're watching this on Twitch or on YouTube, I'm just gonna put up my iPhone real quick so that you see what it looks like. iPhone, I said, come up. There we go. So you've got Yuna right there with her new costume. So this is the Yuna you're used to see from Final Fantasy X, and if you hit costume right there, you're gonna see Yuna. Wait, no, that's Bart. We don't care about Barts. Go away. You're gonna see Yuna from Final Fantasy. Go away, Barts. Final Fantasy X-2. And again, this is in Canadian dollar. That was pretty expensive, I gotta say. I even tried to kid myself saying I wouldn't pay for it, which ended up poorly, if I can say so. It didn't work at all. I didn't fool anyone. So let's be honest. So in Canadian dollar, it was probably around like $52. So it does come with 9,000 gems. So it's not just like, oh, freaking iPhone. There's a heat wave alarm where I live. Oh my God.
Oh.
Got AC. I'm good. All right. So basically, you know, it's not just $50 for a cosmetic upgrade. At least you get the gem that go with it. It's 9,000 gem. It's not so bad. But how did you feel, Mark, at the the pretty high price for a cosmetic change, and especially for a first one as well?
Yeah, I felt really good that I did not buy any gems on the sale that's ongoing.
Yeah, because this sale had been going for a few days before the
because
release. Because
I was planning, yes. So I was planning on buying some gems, and I usually buy the $36.99 one. I usually buy that one, which is 9,000 gems. So I almost bought that. I decided to wait for whatever reason, and I am thankful I did, because then this hit, and you know, I would have much rather had 9,000 gems and Yuna's costume, and Yuna's one of my favorite characters. So, and I do love this costume, even though Final Fantasy X-2 gives me seizures. I do love this costume, the Gunner costume, quite a bit.
So wait, you have a good point. They did because maybe I haven't been paying attention. There was something shiny. I was distracted. It wouldn't be the first time. But correct me if I'm wrong. When they did the draw special, the gem special that's going on right now, and even after that, they never announced that Yuna's costume would be released, right? This came out of nowhere.
No, and I have not been scrolling through Reddit to see if people were like super upset or if people knew about that.
Well, it's Reddit. People are super upset. Just
that's like about everything. But yeah, so on the 29th, we had a limited time gem sale announced. So that was on the 29th. And it mentioned nothing about the costume until
it dropped.
3rd. Yeah, until the 3rd. So, 5 days.
So would you say that that's kind of a low blow coming from Square, that they kind of like let people buy the 9,000 gem special price thing, and then they release a costume on top of that where you'd have to pay another $35 US just for that?
The only thing I would say is I just wonder if that sale, that gem sale, the first gem sale, hit because the Android users were able to see it again. And so we had like 6, banners going at once with Galoff and Zaz banner plus Kane plus the 2 weekly banners, and what am I missing? Lost Chapter banners. So I think that was, that may have been kind of prompting them to have another gem sale, but it's not uncommon for there to be a gem sale with like a Lost Chapter or a new chapter. So yeah, this seemed kind of out of the blue, besides the fact that Yuna hit with this event. So,
All right.
But it was, it would have made more sense if it was a Yuna event, I guess. But Yuna was kind of the secondary character, but we did get her 35 CP. So I guess if I would have done my research, right, then I probably would have known, oh, yeah, we got Yuna's new outfit when she gets her 35 CP. And I have no idea when they got it in Japan. So, but yeah, I agree. It's kind of weird to have, a sale hit and then 5 days later have another sale when normally you have 2 to 4 weeks between sales in this game, right?
All right. So, okay. Then I'm not alone. Moving on, because, we could talk about this for a long time, but it is what it is.
And we both got it. So
and we both bought it. So all of our potential, we're don't listen to us. There's new stems that were added. I'm just gonna combine 2 points we have on here. There's the Rinoa, hello, annoying stem that everybody seemed to have bought in the last few days. Then there's the Kuja stems that are kind of really weird in there. There are a whole bunch of new stems for you if you have too many Dissidia points. Then let's see, there were minor character adjustments for Yuna. Her cheer ability has been buffed. Basically, they added Brave based on her attack. So the cheer adds bravery based on Yuna's attack to target before gaining 1.5 times bravery, and cheer gives Yuna a Fate Refuge buff for 5 turns, which raises defense and initial bravery. So again, awesome. Not too bad. Good stuff all around.
Yeah, I did like being reminded. I bought all the Rinoa stamps. I like being reminded that she's not going to be in the game for another year. So it felt like, Square just kind of jabbing a knife in my back. Like,
you never know.
Hey, Well, we do never know, right? She may be released early. She is in Japan, in both in NT and in Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia Japan. So someday.
Did you? I'm wondering, and again, I don't play the Japanese version. I'm just going to show this real quick on the stream. Again, if you're listening to the audio version, what I'm showing right now is a screenshot I took in the Kuja event where he's talking to Golbez and he's saying the audience is simply tired of waiting for me to take the stage. And I am dying to know if there's anybody playing the Japanese version of the game. Was that dialogue in the game? Because I'm wondering, is Square trolling us after the pool that they held and Kuja ended up being the winner? That the audience would be the pool participants that voted for Kuja to come on early. If that was put in dialogue, especially because he was the winner of that pool, Square Enix, you guys are the greatest. You're not just taking something, translating it, and throwing it our way. And I love what they're doing with this. What do you think, Mark? Do you think it's?
Yeah, until you said that, I didn't really think about it. But yeah, that would be fun if it was like nod to the fact that he's an early release character, poll related character. Because you have to translate the text, right? So who cares what you translate it to?
Mino Spellgod is going to look into it for us. So
very nice.
We'll have an answer. Let's move on to what people have been expecting, and especially me, because as you all know, I am just your entertaining bad pronunciation host here. The real brain of this show is Mark. And when we talk about brain of the show, we talk about his great strategy. And if there's one moment that you want to have strategy, it's for the lost chapters, because they're back to kick your ass. And right now we have 3 lost chapters that were introduced last week. Mark has had the time to run through them, prepare strategy for you. What was that?
I said I have, yes. I did.
Mark, take the stage. Let us know, how do we beat these freaking things?
Well, if you have Zaz and Aiko, then you're set.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That was our show. Have a great week. No, seriously.
Lesson learned. Zaz and Aiko, you're all set. So we'll go through them one at a time. Prishe, Faris, and Ramza. So Prishe is the Golem Chimera. Chimera. It's like a chimichanga. Golem Chimera. We're going to get emails on that one. Who is a 3-headed monster that starts as a goat. Well, his goat head starts active and is weak to fire, but he can change to active lion head, weak to wind, and active dragon head, weak to holy. If you do not remember doing this before, you're new to the game, you can look to see which head is active by looking at which head is glowing. Pretty easy enough. So look and there are different color glows. Look and see which head is glowing. Like Pierre is showing you if you're listening online. Lighting his own head so we can see him. We know he is weak to pronunciation. So Um, so the
That's
goat is
great.
weak to fire, lion is weak to wind, and dragon weak to holy. It has quite a bit of HP. It did in the Prishe event. That was one of the longest co-op events. It took forever to kill that thing, and I think it was a 2-round one even. It just took forever to kill that stupid thing. And he does do self buffs. He adds to his defense and speed, so again, taking longer to kill him because he gets more turns and has more defense. So here's some general tips, and then I'll go my strategy. And Dropman17 was nice enough to give us some strategy on Twitter, what he did. For any of these going forward, if you ever want to share, just message us on Twitter or email us and share what your strategy is. So Prishe is obviously MVP. If you got Prishe and her weapons, she has all of the elements to be weak. Obviously she's buffed, so she's going to have insane brave. The only bad part about Prishe is obviously she doesn't have brave plus HP attacks, but she can get her brave into incredible levels, especially in her buffed events. So if you have Prishe, you're going to be set. Prishe, Aiko, and Zaz would probably be the super team. I imagine if somebody had that team, they're racking up all kinds of points. Prishe covers all the weaknesses and buffed. Additional good options could be, if you're using Prishe, could be Cloud or Laylee, because she does not have that HP, Brave plus HP attack. Any of the knockback characters give her an opportunity to use her
Bring it home.
HP, and then, hit it again. So Laylee might be a better option if you have him maxed out now, because he gives you more opportunities than Cloud. But Cloud is a good option too. And Cloud's paralyzed may work fairly well. I can check here.
Did you know what I realized this week by pure mistake? I've always been under the assumption that once you had successfully had paralyze happen on a mob, proc on a mob, that it could not happen again. It was like a once in a fight thing. And for the first time ever, I had paralyzed proc twice in a row.
Yeah.
So it's a low chance, but it can happen more at once.
No doubt. So. Yeah, the Chimera is not resistant or immune to paralyze, so you can paralyze him as well, which would certainly help you. Here's my team. I used Zaz.
Fully limit broke.
Surprise. Yeah, most of the characters I'm going to share are fully limit broke. You don't. And this is for the level 90 fights, of course, not for anything below that. But for the level 90 fights, Zaz, Papalamo, and Kane, all fully limit broke. I used Ifrit and I brought Squall. I don't think I used that support Squall. So apparently I garnered a pretty high score, 45,308 points on this one. That was Care of Mino told us that he was on Discord chat, and that was one of the higher scores early on. I'm sure people have broken it since then. The only thing I can think, I don't really have any reason to know why the score was high, but the only reason I can think that the score was high was because of my willingness to use abilities during the mobs.
So you clear the trash faster.
Yeah. A lot of times on Reddit, you see people just using Brave plus HP attacks on the mobs and then saving all your ability uses until the boss. I don't do that usually. Depending on where I am, I tend to use a little bit of abilities, especially with a character like Zaz, who has so much utility, and Kane, who has so much utility. Using some of their abilities made sense. And so I was able to beat it in 67 turns. And probably because I was willing to take out some of the mobs faster. And the other thing with that, so Kane has all kinds of self buffs, and certainly Kane would be better with Zaz's buff, but I didn't generally buff Kane with Zaz. So I let Kane's self buffs work, and then I just kind of Zaz and Papalamo got the buffs, unless Zaz was running out and Papalamo had 3 or 4 turns, then I would buff Kane. So if you are bringing a character like Kane or Kuja, who have those good, or even Squall, Lightning, who have those self buffs that are decent, Van in some respect, you don't necessarily have to buff them with Zaz, even though his buffs are obviously much better. So Dropman17 used Zaz, Papalomo, and Aiko, and as I said, Zaz and Aiko are pretty much the standard. Last time we had Lost Chapters, it was Litiko, Lightning, Titus, and Aiko, and I have not seen, although if anybody's listening who has that combo, it would be interesting to see if Litiko was still really workable for these 3 Lost Chapters too. I would assume possibly. The idea with Litiko was basically to deny the boss any turns because of their 3 combined speeds were so out of this world that you basically just deny the boss any turns and so continue to do damage. So if anybody used Litiko for any of these Lost Chapters, let us know because that would be interesting. I did not see a lot of people doing that because a lot of people have the Zaz Aiko combo, which is just nasty, I guess. Yeah, I mean, tons of buffs and HP regeneration, and yeah.
Minos Belgod on Twitch says, yeah, I know someone who beat all 3 with Litiko. They aren't the best anymore, but they can get the job done.
So. Yep. So if you still need to get through it and you got your Lightning, Titus, and Aiko combo, yeah, make it work.
And by the way, I want to take this opportunity to say that we unofficially brought on Minos Belgod as a Dissidia consultant. He's been so great on Twitch that we've actually had him review or outline before tonight. So I know he's super active on Reddit. Please give him props for what he's doing because he's a great man. He's really knowledgeable of Dissidia, and hopefully we'll say just a tiny bit less of crazy stuff tonight. Thankful to him. So
yeah. That is at least 1 or 2 things already we know.
Joseph says that he just did Prishe Lost Chapter with Prishe, Waishtola, and Ramza last night. LOL.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay, hey. Yeah, good. Thank you for that. Yeah,
so there's combinations available.
Oh, there is. I mean, that's part of the fun. You can just go in with the standard, but there are ways, and I'm going to share some different ways as we go here because I tried to do some different combos as opposed to just Zaz. But yeah, I mean, and I did use Zaz, but there are other options besides that, and the buff characters can be really great. So Waishtola has both of her weapons now, right? So yep. She's a great option, and her abilities can really help against these kind of bosses too, because it's going to deny them turns and give you extra turns, and that's always going to help. So yeah, so let's move to. I will say, Dropman17 says. Bring Ifrit and save Smite, which is Aiko's secondary ability for the boss. So, good to know. So Faris, the Faris Lost Chapter is, this was the most annoying for me, was the Lamia Queen. And the Lamia Queen is a pain, but she also has 2 mankins at her side, a Ramza mankin and a Shantoto mankin. Ramza buffs the group. And Shantoto just does damage to you as a pain in the butt. Lamia can resurrect the mankins with full HP, so don't focus too much time on them, but I would encourage you to try to neutralize Ramza because once those 3 get buffed, the Lamia Queen and Shantoto, yeah, it's a pain to try to deal with all 3 of them if they all are buffed. So just some general tips. Faris is a good option because, it's her chapter. So of course, generally the chapter characters are good options. She has great buffs and great debuffs, and she does water damage, so that's good there. Actually, I've heard Yang is a viable option because his kick ability can actually come in handy. It's an AoE ability, right? So it can deal with all 3 of them. Yeah, so apparently. And I believe this was one in the Faris event. People brought Yang, and Yang was fairly effective the first time around in this one, so I do remember that. Lamia Queen is weak to water, so Faris and Garnet can exploit that weakness. So I brought Zaz, Papalomo, and Garnet with Ifrit and Aiko as my support. I really wanted to use Garnet here. I'm not sure if she's the best choice, but I just wanted to bring somebody different. If you don't know, Garnet has a Brave plus HP attack that does water damage, gives the boss, or gives the target, water weakness down, basically, so makes them more weak to water, or weak to water if they're not, and then gives her an AoE Brave attack called Deluge, which is a Brave water attack that hits everybody, which is really nice. So that gives her some utility and allows her to, Brave shave everybody at once. And also exploit the weakness of the Lamia Queen and make her weak to it. So I really thought, hey, this is maybe Garnet's time to shine. So I brought her, and I did pretty well with that. Faris Garnet combo, I think, would be really good too. So if you have Faris and Garnet, I think that's a pretty good combo because then Faris can benefit from the weakness debuff that Garnet gives, and also the Faris is just a good combo. So if you had Faris Garnet and Zaz, or Faris Garnet and Ico, that would be a really good combination too. Dropman 17 used Faris, Zaz, and Ico, as I just said, and brought Leviathan. I did not bring Leviathan. I go back and forth, but I generally think the plus 20% to attack overall does more than the 6 turns of weakness to the element. So I go back and forth. Sometimes I think that's true, sometimes I don't. But in these, I brought Ifrit to all 3 of these. So Dropman says Faris was not fully limit broke, but with her event buffs and ability debuffs, she's a great option for her Lost Chapter. Master Faris's Cannon ability. Faris is one of these that you have to use her ability once or twice before she's mastered it, and it gets better. Use Faris's Cannon ability before the final wave. So if Ramza gets off Galvanize, I wrote Galvatron just because we've been watching a lot of Transformers in my house, so I wrote Galvatron in the notes for some reason. You can debuff and hold out for the win.
So just in case you're wondering, when the Faris and Bartz has the same thing, when they master an ability, it's when they have the stars over their head. So,
yep.
Just saying. Moving on to Ramza's Lost Chapter, where you do not fight one, but you fight 2 Holy Dragon, as if one wasn't bad enough.
And 2 waves of other dragons. You fight a red dragon and a blue dragon. In the wave 1's red dragon, wave 2's blue dragon, and wave 3 is 2 holy dragons. So kind of unique compared to the other Lost Chapters, 5 waves. Various different things. This was just 3 waves, 4 dragons, go to town, which is cool. A lot of people found this the easiest. I think I found Prishe's the easiest, very truthfully, but to each their own. Everybody's got their own easy, weak, everything else. But you do face 2 of these dragons, and they are both obviously very powerful. One of the problems I had is I brought Ramza. It's Ramza's Lost Chapter. I have a fully limit broke Ramza. I'm not even sure why I have a fully limit broke Ramza, but he's just one of those characters. Was there somebody else on his banner? Who's on his banner? Yeah, I don't even know why I would have drawn on his banner, but I do have a fully limit broke Ramza. And so I thought, I got to bring Ramza, right? I got to bring Ramza. And if I'm bringing Ramza, I'm not bringing Zaz. So here's a Zaz-free clear for me. So here's some general tips before I tell you what I did. And I did this twice just to give you some different options here. The Holy Dragon are weak to dark, but they do not have resistance to holy. So don't worry about bringing your holy buffers. Unfortunately, right now, the only dark damage options we have are Shantoto and Cecil. I do not know if Shantoto would be a good option here because I did not bring her. So if you went and used Shantoto, maybe she is a good option. There, I would guess maybe Cecil's not the best option in this particular Lost Chapter. But again, if you brought Cecil, go ahead.
I'm only mentioning this because his Twitch handle is so great. I want to say it out loud. Rubadubdub on Twitch says that he thinks that Zidane and Waka are on this banner along with Ramza.
Yes.
So again, I'm only mentioning this because the Twitch channel was so great I couldn't contain myself at not saying it loud. So the banner would have been the 3 characters that are boosted. Thank you, Ramza, Zidane, or Zidane and Waka. So
So maybe I pulled for Zidane. I don't know. I can't imagine I did. Anyway, where was I? So yeah, so really the simple strategies to keep them both brave broke and focus HP damage on one at a time. Life is obviously a lot easier when there's only one dragon to deal with. So try to get one dragon down, but you're not going to do it in 6 turns of a summon. They do have a good chunk of HP, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get that done. Obviously Ramza's not top tier at the moment, especially with Zaz and Aiko and the self buffers like Kain and Kuja on the scene. But his event buffs allow him to hit like a bus. I mean, he does rack up some major damage. When he is completely buffed with Shout and Galvanize, he actually hits for a lot of damage because he has a crazy high attack. So I wanted to show Ramza some love. So I brought Ramza, Ash, and Sarah. So this is my way out of left field.
All fully limit broke?
Yes, all 3 of those are fully limit broke.
Are you kids eating and everything? I just want to make sure, because you seem to have a lot of fully limit broke character, and if there's an intervention that's required here, I really just want to make sure.
We'll talk. I'll tell you how many I have later when we talk about the question of the week.
Okay,
I'll tell you how many fully limit broke characters.
All right, good.
But those 3 are fully limit broke, and I brought Afreet and Vaughn. This was my look at me, I'm not using Zaz strategy. Or I.
How many times did you wipe?
This took a few times. I don't remember how many times this took. It took a few times.
Okay.
Basically, I went between Ash and Sarah to keep the dragons broke, and both of them have debuffs, and so kind of went back and forth between the 2 dragons, keeping them brave broken, and then focusing the HP damage on the one. Obviously, Sarah has some really great. Brave generation, she's a brave battery, and Ash has some really great buffs, unique buffs for Ramza and for Sarah. She has the magic buff and the physical buff, and Ramza's doing the regular buff, so there's a lot of buffing. It's a buff party. Anyway, move on there. So that was the first one. I did not get I got 20. I don't know what's the high score. 28 you need. And I ended up getting 27. So I didn't get the final achievement for that. So I went back.
With Zaz, I presume?
No.
But
I did go back with a new acquisition. I went back with Ramza, Kuja, and Kain.
Okay. So you stuck with Ramza.
I was full in on the Ramza. I'm like, this is Ramza event. I'm going in. I'm not disrespecting the heretic Ramza.
So respect the Rams.
Spoilers. It's
only been 10, 12 years, if not
and
more.
It's in the first minute of the game they refer to him as a heretic, right? Anyway, so I brought Ramza, Kuja, and Kain. I wanted to see what Kuja could do, and Kuja did a lot of stuff. So. that's that. Good job. Dropman 17 used. I have Sakamo. That's my new. That's my new combo. Sakamo. Like we had Litico, now it's Sakamo. Zaz, Aiko, and Papa Lemo. Sakamo. If you can come up with a better one, please do. That's the new Litico is Sakamo. Papa.
So orange
Zaz,
is new black and Sakamo is a new Litico. That's what we're getting from this?
That is correct.
Okay.
So my overall impressions were Zaz and Aiko for the win. So bring Zaz, Aiko, and some other pud, and you win. So hopefully you drew on both of those and got both of those. Unless you're Pierre, then not yet. Yep. But there will be more characters. There will be a new Litico and a new Sakamo a couple months from now, right? So come back to it like I did. So as a bonus.
Yeah, I was going to say bonus round. You ruined my thing.
Like Mortal Kombat. I'm sorry. Yes, I didn't mean to. Go ahead.
Well, you had no idea. But Mark, I presume there's a bonus round for us. You have more strategy for us, for those of us stuck in the lost chapters from 2 freaking lost chapters ago. What would you recommend
Yes.
for? Let's do a random one. You're absolutely unprepared. Let's do one for Vanille. What would
Completely
you do it
unprepared.
today?
Yes. Let's say we were doing the Vanille event, which was the only one I hadn't cleared the level 90 of. And so I brought Vanille. I brought a new group of people for Vanille. I brought Yuna, who is now max limit broke. I brought Vanille, who has her 35 CP but is not max limit broke. And I wrote Kuna in the I don't know who Kuna is. And I brought Kuja with Afreet and Von. And yeah, those two Berserker armors did not appreciate the Yuna Kuja max limit broke love that they received. It was a very, very quick event.
They disagreed.
Yes, they did not appreciate that. So, yeah. And who wore it better, Kuja or Yuna, in her gunner outfit? I don't know. It's a good question. That's future.
Nope.
Future
Nope. We're not.
discussion.
Nope. That's not going to be question of the week. We're not going there. Not going to happen.
Yeah. So I am done. I have completed. That is the language, right? I have complete Alliance Heart, Girl from Mobera, Castle in the Sky, Thieves of the Sky, lots of sky stuff there. The Small Summoner from Xanarkand, the Detestable Child of the High Seas, the Hero of Ivalice.
Respect.
Complete. All done.
All done.
Back up to 8,000 gems. Woohoo!
You're a monster. All right, moving on. Let's talk about taking the God stage, which is Kuja event. Again, if you missed this, Square Enix had a poll on Twitter and Facebook. They asked us which one of the three following characters do you want to see next. Choices were Kuja, Questis, and Lena. We tried and we failed to lobby Questis to win or Lena to win because basically we wanted a good chance at getting all the Kuja stuff that we could, and we failed because we couldn't do a show that week, and Kuja was the one who won by I believe like 200 votes, and we have a Kuja event now.
Yes.
Which, by the way, I'd like to say that I polled on that event and I got 2 15 CP and 1 35 CP, so I have Kuja staff. So
Nice.
yeah, I know what's wrong with me. So Kuja, Final Fantasy IX. Mark, you're the resident Final Fantasy IX player on this show. Who exactly is Kuja? And is he like Zidane's brother without a tail, or what's his deal?
Yes. Who is this Kuja? That's a good question. Why doesn't he have a tail? That is also a good question. If you played Final Fantasy IX, I don't think you ever get an answer to why Zidane has a tail and he does not. Anyway, that's a tail.
Is there a reason why one has the tail and the like? Is it brought, or are you just making this up as we go?
Yeah, they're both created, so yeah, I don't. One's I forget what the. Maybe he does have a tail. Maybe he's like Goku and he removed the tail. I do not remember. And I literally just played the game not too long ago.
All right.
I do not remember the tail thing. Anyway, I feel like Kuja should be the master of ceremonies at a large cabaret. I just wanted to throw that in. And that's kind of what I think. So after the end of Final Fantasy
like
IX, where
Kuja going like in all that jazz, or is that what you're? No.
that was not I like,
no,
like
not...
I was a little more cabaret and a little less musical theater than what I was thinking. But anyway, maybe that's what happened at the end of Final Fantasy IX. You know, everybody's saying, "Oh, Kuja's dead." He's not dead.
Let me
He's
grab
alive.
one of my cat. You know, like cabaret where the fat lady goes like this and.
Like, like there you go. Like,
okay.
Yeah, like that. There you go.
Okay, that's a kind of. By the way, my
you're
cat's
French,
like
the Moulin Rouge, right?
Okay.
Good times with Kuja. That's all I'm saying. We may never know. Although I'm sure there's plenty of fan fiction about that. And guess what? I did Google that, and I wouldn't read it if I were you.
The sacrifices you make for all of us, Mark, they will not go unwritten.
Well, I wrote that. I'm like, I bet there's plenty of fan fiction about that. And then I Googled it and like, I was right. That's not a good thing. So Kuja is a mage, a magic user like the likes of which we have never seen. He boasts his own unique weapon, which are called cores, and he has 2 devastating attacks: Ring Holy, which is a brave holy attack, and Ultima 9, which is a brave plus HP attack. Both attacks hit multiple opponents and do more damage versus multiple opponents. Anytime Kuja acts, he gains Soul Cleave. Brave or HP attacks are Soul Cleave +1. Standard
not to
abilities.
Mix with Soul Cleavage. It's not the same thing. Don't.
Yuna's got Soul Cleavage, so in her new outfit. Brave plus HP attacks Brave and HP attacks do +1 to Soul Cleave. Standard abilities do +2. Those are without the relics. Relic enhanced abilities are +3. So at Soul Cleave 4, so you basically have to do one of your abilities and then another ability or 2 standard abilities or 2 enhanced abilities, either way, to get to 4. Both of his abilities become plus versions. Ultima 9 Plus is especially powerful because it activates for a second time. So it is actually 2 attacks. And it is actually quite kick-ass. Kuja has the highest max brave stat, which is base 1500, I believe, and the lowest defense and one of the lower attacks. So he does really enjoy that plus 108 attack boost artifact, and his unique Soul Conductor artifact, Soul Conductor 2-star, which raises max brave even more and speed. So both of those are good if you're artifact farming for Kuja. So there you go.
All right.
Yeah.
How about the co-op for this? So this is a new co-op system which I wouldn't get too used to for, I believe, a couple of events, but then it'll come back, because I believe the Quistis event will be in the old format, but there again I could be wrong, because in the Japanese version the Kuja event had come further. But
yes.
This event basically, and we've talked about this in the last show, this event is kind of like the Garland and Emperor of Death and Sephiroth and Kuja battles we had. You get mostly tokens out of the fights, and then you spend those tokens in the little event shop that's on there for tickets, armor tokens, gems, and a whole bunch of other nonsense stuff. Do you like that? Do you think it gives you more control over the rewards that you get, or?
Yeah, I guess, I guess it does give you more control over what you want to buy. And you can ignore armor tokens and draw tickets if you don't, and just go for artifacts if that's your thing.
Yeah,
maybe that's your
there's
thing.
also artifacts, and you can,
Yeah, so it does give you more choices. I feel like it takes more work. Now, I've not done 30 run-throughs yet. I'm at like 21 run-throughs to give you a sense. So I've done multiplayer about 21 times. And let's see if I can find my history. So this is what I've exchanged for. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 of the draw tickets, and 300 gems. So I've done 21 playthroughs, and I've received 20 of the draw tickets. I have 1 draw ticket left, and then all 300 of the gems. So I haven't got any of the 5 armor tokens, and I haven't got any of the Dissidia points. There's 600 Dissidia points, and I still have 1 draw ticket left. So maybe with 30, because it usually took me 25 to 30 playthroughs to get 15, or to get the max.
Yeah, the max core.
Max reward. So here's Mino's 2 cents on the token system. I think it is more runs. It means it takes more runs to get everything. But I was able to get all of the unique rewards with 2 books of treasure. And so he brings a great point, which I completely forgot about. So 1 hour of farming, he was able to get all of the unique rewards with 2 books of treasure. So that's a lot faster than when we were still operating on a score system. So Mino brings up a great point. Yes, this may normally take longer, but you can use Books of Treasure and enhance the number of coins you get. You can double, in fact, the number of coins you get. So, yeah, feel free to use those Books of Treasure. And if you even just want to use, I think it costs 100 gems. So, you can even use gems for it because you get gems from the event if that's something you're worried about. But
And speaking about the tokens, this time around, and we talked about this on last show. If you're using boosted characters, which are Kuja, Sephiroth, and Yuna, I do believe you get more tokens as a reward after the fight, right?
Yeah, which is why like 99% of the Reddit posts right now on the Dissidia channel are, if the room says boosted characters wanted, bring boosted characters.
Oh yeah, because people are absolutely aggressive on that one. And I am not kidding. It's not funny. Like, someone tried to bring a fully limit broke Zaz and was son of a subbed out of her channel real quick.
But yeah, so again, I'm not sure people listening to us or people that are checking Reddit are the people that need to be reminded about that, right? I don't think they're probably the people like jumping onto the wanted boosted characters because they may not even know that that's what boosted character means, right? They may think, oh, boosted characters is max limit bro character, right? Or something else.
Who would think that?
Who would think that? I don't know.
You'd have to be wrong in a bungo to think that.
But yes, if there's any confusion yet, for these events, score does not matter, correct? What matters is the token generation. So you want to bring boosted characters. So for this event, you want to bring Yuna, Kuja, or Setzer. And guess what? If I'm hosting with my Max Limit Bro Kuja, I do not care if you have a 15 CP weapon Kuja or a 15 CP weapon Setzer or a 15 CP weapon Yuna. We're going to beat it. It's not that hard of an event. So, the co-op event is a Mother Seed. And Mother Seed, or Mother Weed, excuse me, is just weak to everything. She's weak to fire, ice, water, holy, resist dark. Oh, no, not dark. She self-buffs, which is a regeneration of brave and HP, and calls weedlets and buffs the weedlets. She does have a breath attack, and I've played it, like I said, 21 times. I've only seen her use the breath attack once, and that was during a broken summon chain. Like, we had one summon, and then they had 3 turns, and we had another summon, and it was on turn 16. And thankfully we had a Yuna, so it wasn't a big deal. So she does have a breath attack, but I've only seen it used once in 20-plus attempts, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. But yeah, I mean, she's not super tough. If you have one fully limit broke Kuja, man, if you have a Setzer or a Yuna, they're going to help a ton. Yuna's buffs and Kuja work really well together. Freeze Joker is really good in this. Obviously, it's good anytime. But when Setzer's buffed, it's even better. So, again, even if your characters, don't go to the level 70 co-op with a level 30 Crystal Strength 30 character. I mean, just use some common sense. But if you have a 50-50 or a 50-45 character, and you have one of their items, a 15 or 35 CP, even if it's not max limit broke, I'm not going to kick people off. I'm not going to shut down the thing. That's what I want. I'd rather you have, a Setzer with a 15 CP weapon and regular armor at 50-50 than a fully limit broke Zaz. Because it does not matter for me to beat to get a better score. And I'm not going to get a better score with Zaz. I'd get a better score with 3 Kujas, very truthfully. So, yeah.
Go. It's sad.
So that's my rant for the day.
Now, another new mechanic in that event, as if the token system was not enough. They've introduced EX Battle, and now this is not to be confused with EX Weapons. They do not reward EX Weapons. I think they're just battles for the badasses in us, like Mark or Minos Pelagod or Dropman, basically anybody but Pierre. So I'll let you take this on, because I haven't even had the guts to fight
everybody but Pierre. Yeah, so the EX battles are just EX battles are just harder versions of the level 70 or of the level 50 battles. They are solo, so you don't multiplayer these. This is a solo event, and you do get rewards based on your score. And I think it was up to like 2,800, 28,000. My score is 46,637. If you're interested, so this is our first 80 level EX battle. 5 waves plus the Mother Weed boss. It's a tough one. It's not easy. I brought Kuja, Yuna, and Zaz. And it was a good time had by all. Other good options would include, but are not limited to, Kuja, Yuna, Setzer, Zaz, Aiko, Garnet, because she has water damage and AoE damage, and Papalymo, because both his fire and ice attacks are boss is weak to them. You could also bring Cloud because of his paralyze, Prishe because of her AoE and exploit weaknesses, Faris because she exploits weaknesses and debuffs, so tons of good options for this particular battle. Yeah. And yeah, again, you just have to be patient, and then again, the Mother Weed didn't ever use her breath attack against me. And I did not, obviously have 3 consecutive summons, but I was able to beat her, I think, fairly easily once I got there. So,
all right.
Obviously, if you bring Yuna, you don't have to worry about the breath attacks because Yuna with her 15 CP weapon is going to take care of that.
All right. Question of the week.
Oh, we should say.
Oh,
we did forget to mention that on this banner. This is our first. This is our first 15 35 CP banner across the board.
No, it's
so
not.
All for an event.
No, it's not. Last event was
the Kane banner. Had all 3 of them.
No, it did not. But I'm fairly sure we said that.
The lost banners have had all 15 and 35 CP weapons.
Okay. Then I was wrong. That's not like a new thing at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go ahead.
yeah. So anyway, we have all of their weapons on this banner. Kuja has both of his, Yuna has both of hers, and Setzer has both of his. But both Kuja's weapons and Yuna's 35 CP weapon are new, and Yuna's 35 CP weapon, along with her buffs, make Yuna quite a bit better. Not only is she an excellent Brave battery, but now she is a buff character. She gives people in the party buffs. And those buffs would be party 5-turn Spear's Blessing, attack up 1. And I thought it gives something else. Party gains Brave based on caster's attack, and Faith's Refuge buff. I thought there was 2 buffs that she gave them. Cheer must give somebody else. No. Huh. Anyway, I'm pretty sure it gives 2. I can't remember what the other one is. Attack. I thought it was attack and max Brave. Anyway, that's not what I'm seeing on there, so I'd have to look and do that again, which I can in a minute. But anyway, Yuna is quite a bit better than she was with her buff, so this is a real nice banner with Kuja being a really solid magic character and Yuna being a nice buffer, and Setzer is not anything to not write home about either. He's has a lot of utility in certain situations. So,
no, Freeze Joker is pretty great. Any moment where you can avoid a boss from gaining Brave is definitely okay with me.
So yeah, if you have any gems or tickets after the Zaz and Kane banner, then it's another good banner. Although we're gonna start having more and more good banners. I think we'll get a reprise. We're gonna have some less than thrilling banners here for a while, but
I can live with that.
Yeah. Now we can go question.
All right, question of the week. Dissidia Final Fantasy Opera Omnia is 6 months old. How are you coming along in the game? Have you completed all the content? Dear God, no. How many fully limit broke characters, that would be 15 CP, 35 CP, and armor characters, do you have in your stable? Include how long you've been playing, and if you're free to play or pay to play. That was your question of the week for Minos Balgod in Twitch. Is Palom sucks, which is the next character we're getting. So I guess that's going to be a top tier banner.
Yeah. it's probably one you could skip. Who else is on that banner? Let me pull it up here real quick.
We do
Yeah,
not
Palom is our
distracted easily at all.
Palom is our next. Yeah, we were going to do this at the end here, and I didn't write it in the notes anyway. So
that's fine.
Not that we give banner suggestions.
Edge
that's not
and Vanille 35, according to Mino.
Yeah. So, yeah, Palom, Edge, and Vanille. So Edge is 35. All those Edge lords out there, and that's going to be followed by Maria, Aiko, and Irving. So anybody who's another chance to get Aiko, and then Kistis, Vivi, and Sarah. So yeah,
all right,
I'm going to be skipping all of those banners.
Beep. Back a little bit. Question of the week. So before I can't let you go first because I'm going to be absolutely humiliated, and there's no way I'll be able to hold a discussion. So let me go first and see. Okay. So in my stable, what do I have here? Let's go there. So I have fully limit broke. I have Lightning, who's absolutely bananas. I have Kuja, who's coming. He's not there yet, but I've got all of his stuff. I'm going to build it. I've got Shantoto's boyfriend, Palo Lamo, who's going there.
You just ship the professor and Papa Lamo. It's nice.
I've got I have Squalls cutting triggers, so I think I do. I have Terra, and I have Cloud, but only because I have the Buster Sword. I think I'm missing one of his swords, actually. So yeah, that's me. That's what I have. Yeah, I'm super tough and badass. So now, Mark, why don't you just piss on everything I just said and tell us how the great players are doing in their stable?
Oh wow. Yeah. So who do I have? So I think you're top ranked too, right?
Yep. Well, I'm missing one rank and 2 levels because Kuja's 38. Yeah.
So I'm ranked 306. I'm a day one player. Obviously, I've been playing since day one.
Yeah, I'm day one as well.
I am up to, if I sort by crystal strength, and I think you may beat me here. I am.
Oh, that's the thing I miss. Crystal strength. Let me count them while you're talking.
I have, of the 61, I have 54 at level 50, and the final 7 at level 45. So I am 7 characters away from having all 61 characters at max crystal strength, and then we're going to get an awakening.
Yeah, I'm at 22 characters or not. Like, they're all over 43.
Yeah.
But then they're all idling.
Yeah, those last 5 levels. So I have limit broke, 15, 35 CP and armor. I have Lightning, Ramza, Paplamo, Ash, Terra, Squall, Zaz, Bon, Garnet, Cloud, Sarah, Kane, Kuja, Shantoto, and Yuna. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 characters, I guess. So, and not a lot of extra weapons. So I think Dropman and Dropman17 on Twitter was asking how I managed to max limit break all of those because I don't have anything else because I sell everything else for Power Stones. I'm a Power Stone addict. So and all those 15 CPs that I max limit break, I sell them too for parts. So
yeah, I think at some point I'm going to share my inventory with you and get your opinion on that because I clearly must have a lot of more junk than you do.
Well, yeah, my inventory has 115 items, and I have 4 and 3 star items in it right now, and tons of armor. So
see,
it's 5. So let me tell you how many 5-star weapons I have.
Okay, let me do
including the max limit break. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So I have 34. 34, 5, and 6-star weapons. Count. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of extras.
40. Yeah. we'll compare this, I guess, at some point better. But I think you've got a more stable or better strategy than I do. Anyway, did we
Yeah.
get any other feedback from answers from players in terms
Yeah,
of?
no, not on that question. Yeah, I am not free to play. I talk about that
Yeah,
on a regular
you clearly
basis.
not, and neither am
Uh,
I. But I'm not super involved in pay to play.
no.
Actually, for those of you who are not new to this podcast, I kind of lost my shit during the Final Fantasy Record Keeper thing when Ramza was introduced, and he had the Platinum Sword, who would give you the shout ability, and I went crazy, and I've been in the Gacha Anonymous group ever since, because it went into 3 digits and much closer to 4 digits than three in terms
Yeah.
of investment. And
Yeah.
by the way, quote unquote, I never got the freaking sword.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically my biggest investment has been since then the Yuna costume. So I try to be careful
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah, I don't think I think so. Besides the Yuna thing that I bought, I think the last thing that I bought was the Kupo card.
Oh, I'm missing those. I
So,
miss waking up and
uh,
having just a
so
little bit
I
of
didn't really do
jam.
anything over the summer. So,
I don't
yeah. So
understand why you're not.
I've not spent too much. I've probably done three, maybe four mithril chests over the course of the game, and then the Kupo cards. So, figured out what it is. Yeah, and these last few times, so there's been a couple draws that I've not been very lucky on, but these last couple draws I've been pretty lucky on. I'm going to have to admit. So, yeah, the luck has been with me. RNGesus, praise
Well,
his.
speaking of luck, I think our next question of the week for next week is going to be right there with you. Um,
My luck is not in this area. Yeah.
and we're really looking for. Well, this is a question of the week that I put forward, and we want your feedback on that one. I especially do. This is a genuine question. Please don't answer right now on Twitch. This is question of the week for next week. The question of the week next week is: how important are artifacts to your planning slash strategy? Like, once you're involved in a character, will you go all the way and just farm these freaking things forever, or do you not care about artifacts? How do you play the whole artifact thing in your daily, weekly play sessions? So this is a question of the week for next week. Again, if you want to leave your answers, you're watching this on YouTube, just leave a comment. Otherwise, the two favorite places to leave answers are Twitter at FFTCC Podcast or on Facebook at The Crystal Chronicles. And finally, if you're like super anti-social media, just send us an email from your Proton Mail account to kupo at tccpodcast.com. We're like reachable on all these things.
Text Pierre at 555
Yeah,
555.
definitely 555 TCC podcast. That's Klondike 5. Yeah. Um, so I really want to know because I'm keeping my own opinion for next week, but seriously, this might help me in my own play
Yeah,
strategy.
good
So,
question.
do we have anything else for this show, Mark? I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
All right. Well, again, our website is tccpodcast.com. This was episode 23 of the Crystal Chronicles, recorded on September 5th, 2018. Special credit, special thank you to Mark, as usual, to at Dropman17 for his comments, and especially to Mino Spellgod on Twitch for all his help and involvement with the show and helping us. We hope to see you next week. We're expecting you next week, to be absolutely honest. Don't let us down. We're expecting you, same bad time, same bad Twitch channel or RSS feed or podcast application. So thank you very much for being there. You guys are great, and we'll see you next week. Thank you, Mark. Have a good one.
Thank you, Pierre.